Welcome back, class, to tutorial 6. We're gonna do the second session of this chapter, which is it's a very important chapter. I think when you do your final project, it's gonna be pretty much based on this kind of chapter, this part of the chapter where you're gonna create a page using the CSS layout and make that page a dynamic web template in order to create other pages of that template page, and we'll definitely discuss that in chapter 9. So on page 288, there's talking about creating page layouts. Page layouts, we use a special tag called div element tag. It's div. A lot of people think div is similar to paragraph, but it's not. It's a lot more dynamic because the div tag, we can stack those div tags. We can hide them. We can make them appear in different areas. They can float. They can behave along with the windows. There's so much you can do with that div element, and we are using it to lay out our pages. So if you look at the page 288, and it's telling you before you actually proceed with creating the page layout, the CSS layout, you have to decide how is your page going to look. Like in this particular page, we have a banner, we have a footer, we have on the left content, and the main content in the center. Expression Web, similarly to Dreamweaver, they offer you a lot of templates that you can create your CSS layout from. And I'm using the word template, and there's going to be quite a few of those, but I should probably say library. So there are a lot of library of CSS layout that actually allow you to quickly create a CSS layout page, and you can then edit it and do whatever is necessary for you. So to start a new CSS layout page, again, similarly, the Dreamweaver have the same concept. So I'm gonna go File, New, Page. Don't click the CSS. It's only one page. I want to create something based on the library. So I'm gonna click File, New, Page. And from my left group, I'm going to select CSS Layout. And here I have about maybe 10 different type of layout. When you see the dotted line right here, it's telling me this particular portion of the layout is going to stretch with the window. When a solid line is telling me this particular portion of the layout is going to be fixed. So it's not going to stretch. So we have one type here, another type here. So you can see there's a different type. I've used this one before. This is the one we're gonna use today. And this is for if your language start from right from right to left instead of left to right. This is a common one I've always used, and you've probably seen that in a different site that I showed you earlier. So there are different type of layouts that you can choose from, or you can create your own. So if we're gonna create this layout right here, and that's what the book asking us to do, which is the most common one. Again, for your final project, you don't have to use this one. You can use any one you like. I personally like this one here, which I use quite a bit. This is telling me I have a banner, I have a footer, this is my middle part is my main content, which is the one that stretches, and here I have the side menus, and here I have some extra content for that particular page. Let's select this one and move on. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this one as the textbook is asking us to do. Then I'm gonna click OK. As you notice, you not just created one page, you actually created 2 pages. The first page is your web page itself, and the second page is your style sheet that's telling how what those div elements are and how it's gonna be structured or laid out on your page. Let's go back to the page first. The very first part of that layout is you please pay attention to this element right here. It says div pound masthead. This is my banner, so you can actually type banner here if you do to kind of see where you're at. Usually this is for top navigation link. People add their links here. This is us. So again, here if you notice only one div tag, but if I go to the left menu, now I have two div tag. The div tag container, it's actually has the two floated tags in within it. So the first tag within the container, we have the left column, which is a float to the left, and we have the main content, which they call it here page content, that also in a div container. Similarly, if we select the three columns in a div container, it will float the same way. And the last div element is my footer element. Let's go ahead and save this. So I'm gonna click save, and you're not gonna only save one, you're gonna save two. So please remember, if you close your program and you open it again, you want to make sure you save that stuff in that tutorial folder. I'm gonna give it the file name layoutnew.html, layoutnew.html, and change the title to layout new. You can always change that. Click save. I think we're gonna change the title later, but we'll do that later. Now, you're not just saving the web page, you also want to save the Cascade style sheet. So we're going to name it style new. Save. Go to the page properties and type for the title flu line bus company. Page description is going to be on page 291. It says the flu line is the fastest and the most commercial bus line in the East Coast. And for the keyword, again, that's an inappropriate keywording, but that's okay. I'm going to fix it. Then click OK. Go ahead, save. And I'm going to create a new style. The page layout is there, but we can't see anything. So I'm going to try to identify where everything is laid out in order to add my element to it. So I'm going to create a new style. From the selector, select div tag. We'll remove this later, but I want to just identify where all my borders are. In the border category, keep all those checked. The border style solid. The border width is 1. And the color is purple. Then click OK. Now you can see all the div elements there. The reason this is in the masthead, we're going to insert a logo. We're going to drag and drop flu logo.png into the masthead. Now if you have that problem, you can always go insert, and the alternate text is going to be flu bus line logo. We'll center it using the div tag. And I don't want this div tag top nav. If you can always get it back if you want to. If you're interested, I will show you how. Click on it and simply click the delete button. Now, since that div element is gone, look what happened to my style. If you can keep it like it is in case you use it again. If you don't want it, you can right click and delete. So I'm just going to keep it in case I use it again. Control S to save. Now, switch back to your info.html. Open it if you have it closed. Control A to select all. Control C to copy. Go back to layout new.html. Make sure you are in the page content and Control V to paste. Scroll all the way up. There's an empty paragraph there. Type in that paragraph. Tell them you flew here. Make it heading 1. The line 2, make it heading 2. And all these headings gonna be heading 3. it would be a good idea to have bookmarks in here so you can jump to those paragraphs within the page, because this page is going to be much longer. Control S to save. Scroll all the way down to the footer. In the footer, type the following. Type contact the flu line at flu bus line at comlink.net, and make sure there's a dot in there. As soon as I hit the space, it becomes an hyperlink. That's okay. Control S to save. I'm gonna center this content in here. It says and Control S to save. This is not an appropriate way of doing it. I need to show you the appropriate way of doing it. I'm gonna undo that. When I centered this, did not apply style. Actually, what it did to it is change the style of the footer and add text align center. And this is the appropriate way of aligning the text inside the div tag. Your book is still using Expression Web 3, Expression Web 4 actually improved on it. I'm very happy to say that. Scroll all the way up. I'm going to add a bullets list in here. However, and this is extremely important because you might see it in a test, in order to create a list, you have to have paragraphs. In here, I don't have any paragraphs, so I have to add a paragraph in here first. And please do not select the div tag when you apply the bullets, because you apply the bullets to the div element, and that is not appropriate. Within the left column in here, I can select paragraph. I have another paragraph within the column, and I can then start typing my list, and my list is on page 299. Once it's a paragraph, you can apply the list to it. Then I type buy tickets, enter, view our terminals, seating availability, safe travel tips, and the flu crew. Control S to save. And we're going to link each one of those to appropriate page. So I'm going to highlight buy tickets, Control K to insert a link. Make sure an existing file page. Go to your data files, tutorial, and select tickets. Highlight view our terminals, Control K, and select terminals. Highlight seating availability, Control K, select seating, safe travel, Control K, and select rules. Highlight the flu crew, Control K, and select crew.html, Control S to save. I'm going to create a new style, and this style is going to be for the hyperlink, and I will show you. We can walk through the books if you're interested, but I'd rather to show you mine. So I'm going to create a new style. I want to make sure all the style apply to active links, and have to be in that order. So what I'm trying to do is, as we did in the past with the page properties, I'm changing the colors of all the way the hyperlinks appears, except the hover links. I'm going to make it something different. And this is telling me to make it bold. If you're interested, that's fine. Keep it bold. Decoration, nope, no decoration. Color, we can leave the color blue. I'm probably change it to something maroon. Then click apply. Everything changed to maroon. I'm not just gonna stop this, because I want also the visited and the press down the same way. So I'm gonna create a new style again. This is why I have to do it in the order. Instead of a link, I'm going to say a active and do the same thing. New style, a visited, bold. I want to make sure all these colors are the same. Now, this is what's going to change. When the mouse is over the content, it's going to look different. So I'm going to say new style, a hover, keep it bold, make it underline, and the color is blue. Click OK, Control S to save, click F12 to see what we've done. So as you can see, when I put my mouse over, I change the color and added underline. I mean, this is the things we don't do in with the page properties. I'm gonna go ahead and align this center because it's bothering me. So I'm gonna minimize this, go right here, or you can select the div tag if you're interested and add center. Again, added the center tag to the masthead. So Control S to save both of them. At the end of this list right here, I'm gonna hit enter twice to get out of the list. Then I'm gonna add a table, 2 rows and 1 column. Then click OK. Leave everything as a default. I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna select the table first. Then I'm gonna go use one of those auto format. This is applying certain style quickly to the table. Dreamweaver does not have that. Click on table, modify, table auto format. You can select anything you're interested in. The book asks you to select list 4. You can apply it to borders, shadings. So if you have a certain shading, if you don't want to, you can uncheck that, leave your own shading. If you have the fonts, you don't want to mess with the fonts, click on the fonts checkbox and you keep your own fonts and so on. So we're going to leave it like it is and click OK. In the first row, we're going to type ticket information. The second row, we're going to type the phone number. And I'm going to center both of them. And Control S to save. Now we already centered this. So I'm going to add the color to background right here. So please pay attention because I'm going to try to match the color to the edge of this picture that looks nicer. So I'm going to go to the masthead, right click on it, modify style. I want to make sure that I can see the picture. So I'm going to drag this list, the window a little bit to the right. Click on the background category, background color, select more colors, select that drop icon, and I'm going to go to the edge of this picture right here and select the color. So this will match the picture better than the textbook. Then click OK, Control S to save. And that's what I have so far. It matches the background color a lot nicer than the textbook. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the page content, right click on it, modify style, and from the font family, we're going to select Arial family, click OK, save all. I'm going to scroll all the way down. I want to change the way this one looks. So right click on the footer, modify style, change the font family to Arial, and go to the background color, make it yellow. They want the font to be navy. So go back to the font and change the color to navy color. Then click OK. And save all. Click at the end of the footer right here, since we're done, type your first name and last name, shift enter, tutorial 6, and control S to save, and we're done for this chapter.